the coronation of King Edward VII and his queen consort Alexandra. The crowning ceremony of Edward and his consort Alexandra as the reigning monarchs of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions unfolded at Westminster Abbey in London on the 9th of August 1902. It was supposed to take part on the 26th of June of the same year, but the event faced an abrupt postponement due to the King's sudden illness, necessitating immediate surgery for an abdominal abscess. In contrast to Queen Victoria's coronation 64 years prior, Edward and Alexandra's accession to the throne was meticulously orchestrated. It served as a grand spectacle reflecting the influence and culture of the British Empire, then at its zenith, while also embodying profound religious significance. Prior to the coronation, the lackluster and unrehearsed 1838 coronation of Queen Victoria had been a stark contrast. Even though the subsequent street procession and nationwide celebrations had been highly successful. Anticipations were high for Edward's coronation to mirror the nation's standing as a formidable imperial power. In December 1901, an executive coronation committee led by Viscount Esher collaborated closely with the king to outline the agenda for the event. Esher, a key figure behind the successful Diamond Jubilee in 1897, held the position of Director of Music bestowed upon him by Sir Frederick Bridge, the organist and choirmaster at Westminster Abbey. Lady Curzon, wife of Lord Curzon of Kedleston, Viceroy of India, played a pivotal role in designing the Queen's coronation gown. Alexandra sought Curzon's assistance in July 1901, granting her creative freedom in designing the gown's design. Alexandra only specified that the motifs should feature the floral emblems of England, Scotland and Ireland, the English Tudor rose, the Scots thistle and the Irish shamrock. The gown, crafted from lightweight gold net with metallic embroidery, incorporated the Zari of India, admired by Lady Curzon. While it's uncertain if the gown itself or only its fabric was made in India, the stitching process commenced in October 1901 and concluded in February 1902, with final adjustments entrusted to the House of Worth in Paris. Upon ascending to the throne, the 59-year-old Edward found himself in a state of overweight, indulging in substantial meals and cigars. Despite his eagerness to embrace his new responsibilities, his initial months as the reigning monarch were marred by a series of health issues and injuries. As the scheduled date for the coronation approached on the 23rd of June 1902, Edward and Alexandra returned from Windsor Castle to Buckingham Palace for the upcoming ceremony. Observant foreign journalists remarked on the king's worn and pale appearance, noting his reliance on a cane. That evening, the royal couple hosted a formal dinner for 70 guests, consisting of both British and overseas royalty. The unfolding of the unexpected turn of events was marked by a headline in the Northern Echo on the 25th of June 1902, declaring the postponement of the coronation. A telegram with an official stamp was placed across the empire, conveying the news that the coronation was delayed due to the king undergoing a surgical operation. A subsequent bulletin from Edward's medical team disclosed that he was suffering from an illness, and although the condition seemed promising on Saturday, a reoccurrence necessitated a surgical intervention on Monday. The operation, conducted by Sir Frederick Treves and Lord Lister, took place on a table in the music room at Buckingham Palace to drain an abdominal cyst. On the originally scheduled day of the 26th of June, a solemn service of intercession unfolded at St. Paul's Cathedral, attended by numerous British and foreign dignitaries present in London for the coronation. Despite the immediate dismantling of the wooden stands along the procession route, Edward insisted on proceeding with regional celebrations and the planned coronation dinner for the poor of London. Organised by Sir Thomas Lipton, this event served 500,000 dinners to Londoners at 800 locations on the 5th of July, with the King personally contributing £30,000 towards the expense. Donations from commercial entities and affluent individuals, including a generous gesture from Rowntree's, added to the occasion. The abrupt postponement had broader repercussions, as many individuals who had rented rooms along the planned procession route sought refunds on their contracts, resulting in the notable coronation cases. This legal precedent played a significant role in shaping the doctrine of frustration of purpose in English common law. In response to the circumstances, Edward addressed a letter to the public, published on the eve of the originally scheduled coronation day, disseminated by the press. The delay in the coronation had a notable consequence, as foreign delegations departed and did not return for the rescheduled ceremony. Instead, their respective countries were represented by ambassadors, turning the coronation into a domestic celebration of the British race united by the influence of the imperial crown. Among the 8,000 Abbey attendees were prime ministers from the British dominions, rulers of 31 Indian princely states, the Sultan of Perak. The Times lauded the occasion, highlighting King Edward's unique position as the first monarch attended by statesmen from self-governing colonies and the great princes of India, emphasising their role in preserving British civilization. The meticulous selection of the service's contents aimed to maintain its spiritual essence while ensuring brevity. The draft primarily originated from Randall Davison, the Bishop of Winchester. The elderly and infirm Archbishop of Canterbury, Frederick Temple, conducted the service, and despite his refusal to delegate duties, Temple required support from 2 bishops throughout. Due to failing eyesight, the service's text was printed on oversized prompt scrolls, now preserved in the Lambeth Palace Library. Archbishop Temple encountered various disruptions during the otherwise splendid ceremony, including difficulty rising after kneeling, placing the crown backwards on the king's head, and responding rudely to a colleague's inquiry about his well-being. During the unconventional moments, King Edward himself deviated from the service order, displaying an unusual, affectionate gesture towards the Prince of Wales. Princess Beatrice, the king's sister, unintentionally added noise to the ceremony by dropping her service book from the royal gallery onto a gold-plated table. Due to his ongoing recovery, Edward was crowned with the imperial state crown instead of the heavier St. Edward's crown. Alexandra, crowned immediately after her husband, received a new crown containing a diamond. The originally planned procession and state, including military contingents from various nations, became a solely British and imperial affair after the postponement. Out of over 30,000 participants, more than 2,000 represented colonial, Dominion, or Indian forces. The route, witnessed by approximately 1 million spectators, traversed key locations, concluding with the King and Queen greeting the crowds from the balcony of Buckingham Palace, setting a precedent for future coronations. A second procession, initially scheduled to tour the City of London and Southwark on the day, followed the coronation service, but this was postponed to the 25th of October due to the King's health concerns.